Greetings in the name of Jesus Christ. My name is Maynard Pittendray, and we're going to begin a study on the Book of Ecclesiastes. We're going to get right to it because every one of these sessions is going to be about 5 minutes long, maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. So let's start reading right away. Old Testament Book of Ecclesiastes. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless. Meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Some translations say... vanity, vanity, everything is vanity. Useless, useless, everything is useless. I had a professor at Union Seminary who once said that the best translation of this was crap, crap, everything's crap. When I read Ecclesiastes, I picture an old man, not someone young like me, but I mean a really old guy who is in his last legs, maybe some IV needles stuck in his arms and tubes running up his nose, and nurses gathered around waiting for the old man to expire and die. I picture someone like Sean Connery or Patrick Stewart, but older than they are now. This is right now the year 2020. I think of someone who's got a beautiful voice and able to convey great wisdom, but also very, very old. Someone who's seen it all. And what does this person who's seen it all say? Crap, crap, everything's crap. Meaningless, meaningless, everything is meaningless. One translation says vapor, vapor. Everything is vapor. And that may get to the real meaning of this word, because vapor is just useless air that just goes away and disappears. When I was a teenager, I smoked cigarettes for a while. Not my best decision, and but I did learn how to blow smoke rings, and it was beautiful. Take a drag of a cigarette. You don't inhale it in your lungs. You kind of force it out of your mouth with an O-shaped mouth, and out comes a perfect smoke ring, and it would just go off and then fade away. And I could do one after another, and they all faded away. Smoke, vapor, meaningless. Here is this guy who has so much knowledge and wisdom, and he's saying life is meaningless? What a way to start a book. Verse 3, what does a man gain from all of his labor at which he toils under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. The place the streams come from, they return there again. All things are tiresome, more than one can even say. The eye never has enough of seeing, the ear never has its fill of hearing. What has been will be again, and what's been done will be done again. There's nothing new under the sun. And he goes on and on. Chapter 1, chapter 2, talking about how meaningless life is. In verse 17 of chapter 2, so I hated life because of the work that is done under the sun. It was grievous to me. All is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. So I hated life because all the work that is done under the sun. Under the sun implies he is talking about worldly things and not so much heavenly things. I would encourage you to read all of chapter 1 and all of chapter 2, but don't get discouraged, even though these are sad, sad words that he's saying here. Everything is meaningless. And he's just finding different ways and creative ways of saying everything is meaningless. Life is useless. And then in verse 3, chapter 12, he says this: I know that there's nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live. that everyone may eat and drink and find satisfaction in his or her toil. This is a gift of God. It's as if saying that it is easy to fall into the trap of thinking life is useless and meaningless. And I think especially as we're going through this pandemic in the year 2020, we've lost so much. Where is the meaningful thing of life? We can't go to sporting events. We used to spend time and money for that. There are no sporting events right now. We used to go to Disney or Universal, or we used to do all sorts of things, go to the movies, and now where is the meaning of life? Many of us are stuck at home. And essential people working in hospitals and grocery stores and farms and truckers and so many more, they are limited in their contact with people, and they're afraid for their safety. What's the meaning of life? I know that there's nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good. And even while we're stuck at home, let's strive to do good. Find ways of helping other people. Check in on our neighbors. Be polite to folks who are working so hard in the hospitals or in the grocery store, whoever we encounter. Look after our neighbors. Do good and be happy. Don't be anxious about these times, but find your purpose in a world that is realizing how meaningless so many of the things we used to think of as important have become. The Lord be with you.